And we're live.
I believe it when I see it.
You call me a liar, man?
No, I'm calling your internet a liar.
Oh, well. How could you?
There we go. I got my beep boop. I hope I don't have my media player turned on.
Check, 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 check. Oh, God. Alright. Nope, wrong button. Alright, we're live on Twitch. We're live
on
YouTube. And no one really watches us on the other channels, so whatever.
Who gives a fuck?
That's right.
Which, I'm not sure if you're including the last of the last episode that we just finished recording in, but I did swear at the end, just so you know.
Wait, in 532?
Yes, in 532. It was after we'd said goodbye, but I'm not sure if you're doing what you usually do and including the end section.
Oh, I don't think I will, but I'll make a note.
It was after, yeah, it was after the, it was the
After
response
the
to the size of the video file.
Oh, okay.
I know you don't normally include that section, but just to be safe.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down just so I don't forget, since I have 6 episodes to edit.
Yay.
In media news, I started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this past week.
Oh, yeah.
That first season is rough.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna stick with it because I know it gets good, but like, it is procedural as hell.
Yep. It gets away from that more towards the back half. It doesn't really. I think it really starts getting good when. I don't know. Do you know any spoilers for that thing?
I've probably seen them here and there.
Well, you've seen Winter Soldier, haven't you?
No, but I sort of assumed that a lot of those people were in there.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were up to date on your Marvel movies.
Oh, the movie. I've seen the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, then you know the whole thing with S.H.I.E.L.D. in that movie.
That's not the spoiler I was talking about. But how that Winter Soldier ties into and the shit going shenanigans with S.H.I.E.L.D., it all pays off pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Plus, you haven't met Bill Paxton yet, have you?
No.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to see from the beginning that they have all the pieces there. Like, Clark Gregg is still really good. A lot of the other characters are good. It just, they needed to get the writing down.
Yeah.
They needed to get away from the formula of Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved Fitzsimmons.
The two scientisty peeps. Yeah. I
love them both in season 1. I think Fitz comes into his own so hard at the start of season 2.
Oh, nice.
Like, he becomes such a good character. Like, it's not even stuff he does. Spoiler, he doesn't become a superhero. But his character development, his arc into the season 2 is just so fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, so far it seems good. It just, I'm glad I'm watching it so late, because if I had started watching it when it first aired, I probably would have tapped out on it pretty early. Just because, like, I watch NCIS. Like, I have my procedural fix. They're all pretty much the same. But I'm glad I know that it goes some places, so I can just, even if I'm not super watching the first season, you know, it's just on there.
I think season 1 really picks up, like Nob said, when Paxton comes in.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that happens until season 2.
No, that's season 1. Because the midpoint break, because it came out when they started doing the whole midpoint seasons, because it's 24 episodes a season.
That's right, I forgot they were that long.
And they have the midpoint break that Game of Thrones does, like where it's like, oh, we'll get halfway through and we'll end with this big cliffhanger, and then start the second part of the first season with the big resolution. And that midpoint break happened I think, right when Winter Soldier came out. Like, that break happened the day before Winter Soldier got released to movie theaters. And then when it comes back, it's really weird.
Interesting.
It's been a long time since I watched that first season.
I think it picks up so great when Paxton comes in, because he's such a good character in that show.
Well, he dinks in for like 2 or 3 episodes and disappears and comes back with a vengeance. No, that I started watching Happy on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, that's the one you recommended to me.
Did you see the picture I sent you?
Yeah.
Could that be any of a weirder thing?
Yeah.
That show is off the rails in all the right ways.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't had a chance to really do much of anything this week, but I'm excited to. Top Chef is back on. Like, I want to.
Yep.
I'm excited for that.
Top Chef is really good so far.
Yeah.
Really good.
Where are they? Colorado?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw some of the first episode, and I'm like, alright, I'm back in Top Chef. Crap.
Yeah, that show is so good. Like, it's... I don't know how they capture that essence of competition and people that aren't this petty bullshit that's like Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen is just a beautiful train wreck.
Top Chef is one of those shows I like. I really like reality shows where it's focused on a competition.
Well, when it's high level people.
Like, I like Ink Master, even though a lot of that is kind of crappy. I like seeing the competition. I like seeing what they produce. And that's way higher stakes on that show.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I like. I mean, the food. I mean, goddamn, it's incredible.
Yeah.
There was a movie I watched a couple weeks ago, and I think I sent you a text about it. It's Genocidal Organ.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a mindfuck that thing turned out to be.
Yeah.
I was not anticipating that at all. And it took 2 attempts to watch it before it sucked me right in. We see that. Watch Star Wars. It's another one I watched recently.
I watched something else this week too.
I feel like there was a show that I powered through and I cannot remember what it was.
My wife was watching The Crown season 2, and I caught bits and pieces of it. It still looks, it's still a great show, but it's such a slow burn. Like, you have to focus on that.
Oh, the fucking librarians are back.
Oh, really? That show was fun.
I can't believe that show's on its 4th season.
Wow.
That show is so whimsically, you would just expect it to fail.
Yeah. Well, Psych is coming back for a series of movies. And I was like, what? I was like, well, that's interesting. I love Psych, but I wasn't expecting more stuff to come out.
There's another one I think on A&E's coming out with The Alienist that looks really good.
Oh, Dakota Fanning's on that, isn't she?
Dakota Fanning and the guy that played he was the head Nazi in what the fuck was it? The movie
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, that guy.
Christopher Waltz is in it too. So Christopher Waltz is in it, and the young one, the one that had the movie made of him.
Wow, that's a lot of people on an A&E show.
Yeah. A&E's up in their game a little bit.
Yeah. It's just, there's so much good TV now that it's sort of a blessing and a curse.
Oh yeah, it's like me and Jess started watching Fringe like 4 years ago. I'd already seen it, and I said to her, "We need to watch this show."
Yeah.
Because Jess loves a good slow burn, as she calls it, where it's like the will they, won't they nearly do, they nearly don't. She loves a good slow burn, and the first 3 seasons of Fringe are one huge slow burn, and then we literally hit the point where things get really messed up and the show gets really stupidly intriguing. And then for whatever reason, we just stopped watching because we were watching this when I was back in England. So we were watching it like that. And then since I've come here, it's just like we just haven't sat down and watched it. It's like she'll watch her shows and I'll watch my shows. Like I've finished season, I think I'm up to the end of season 2 on S.H.I.E.L.D. now. But we just haven't sat down properly and actually watched the TV show together.
Yeah.
Oh, did you watch that last episode of The Orville?
No, I'm like
You gotta be a couple behind.
I'm like 2 episodes behind or so. I'm on like 9 or 10.
So you haven't hit the 2D universe yet?
No, but that sounds awesome. God damn it, Orville. I'm so glad that got renewed for another season.
Yeah, I think I got 2 more episodes before the season's over.
Okay.
Because I think they only got 12 out of 13 they're releasing this year, which would have been the finale episode, with the start next season.
Okay. I did watch the Christmas Bob's Burgers episodes.
Oh, we haven't seen them yet. We tried to watch them last week, and then
They're really good.
Oh.
I get so frustrated that show keeps getting better.
yeah,
Like at some point, this is not hyperbole, but at some point they have to put out a bad episode, and they really haven't.
No, the one that was their weakest one is the one they took a huge risk on, which was their season premiere
Yeah, with all the stuff.
with the brunch squash.
That episode was so good.
Yeah,
I think the funny thing for me is it tells you how good Bob's Burgers is.
Yeah,
'Cause I haven't gone back and seen the new season of Archer yet. I haven't watched any of it at all.
I'm a couple seasons behind Archer.
For me,
I heard Dreamland was a flop.
yeah, that's what I hear.
I'm done with Archer. I made it through a couple of seasons, and I stopped caring about it.
Mm-hmm. But no, that guy was always Archer to me. Like anytime I had
Sean
Sean
Benjamin?
anytime I had his voice, he was Archer.
No, he's McGurk.
He's
Now-
also McGurk, yeah. He's also a very accomplished, shitty jazz pianist.
Yes.
Who the hell is McGurk?
There's an Adult Swim show, like it's
called Home Movies.
It's a first run Adult Swim show, so we're talking
Yeah.
like 2000, 2001. It was called Home Movies, and it was
like Dr. Katz style animated. Everything was real
it was
shaky
real
line.
wiggly. And it was really just about these kids making home movies of stuff, and he was the soccer coach, Coach McGurk.
It's the gym teacher.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's just
wasn't
this big mountain of a dude, and just the great part about H. John Benjamin is it's always just his voice. Like it's never anything different.
Yeah,
I love it.
but I now see him as Bob. I don't see him as Archer anymore. I see him as Bob because I prefer Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
I can't get away from him just for the one episode where he got the ninja swords in Home Movies. I laughed. It wasn't even the part where him screwing around with the swords, but when he tried to return them, and the argument he had with customer service is that you cannot return cutlery.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like it's not. They're ninja swords, dude. They're not cutlery. They're swords. No, do they have an edge, sir? Yeah. Cutlery. Click. Like.
I didn't realize he was in Dr. Katz. He's Dr. Katz's son.
That's awesome.
Here on the Wikipedia page, the top article is he's best known for voicing characters such as Archer, Bob Belcher, Ben, the son of Dr. Katz, Coach McGurk, and a can of mixed vegetables in the film Wet Hot American Summer.
Yes, I remember that he was in that too.
So good.
It was a can of beans that was talking to the dude in that Happy Show was the cook, and he was talking to like that dude.
Yeah.
No, that was really good.
Wow. He was in David Cross's comedy team at the age of 24. That's crazy.
He's funny.
Oh,
Where did he
voice
really...
actor. He's another one. Like I really love his character in what was that alien abduction show I was watching?
He was on Space Ghost.
People of Earth. Yeah, I remember him on Space Ghost.
He got
Space
kidnapped.
Ghost too. That show People of Earth, which I think is a gem that no one's watching either.
Sorry, I've never seen Wet Hot American Summer. He portrayed a talking can of vegetables with a shameful habit for autofellatio.
okay.
I really need to see that movie.
He
he was in Not Another Teen Movie. He was the football coach.
Yeah.
No, he's a football trainer. The football coach was, get it back on the goddamn field, goddammit. Spit.
Yeah. That was Chris Evans, like, first movie I remember seeing him in.
Chris Evans is so good in Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah.
That's what she said when she was tongue in my balls.
Captain America, ladies.
Isn't that the token black guy in that? Isn't he the other dude in Psych too?
Oh, I don't think he is. Let me look him up. No, the guy from
the guy
Psych.
from She's All That, isn't he?
No,
Maybe.
She's All That is the one that is the parody to Not Another Teen Movie.
He was the guy from Psych. Is the guy from The West Wing.
Okay.
Cast. Eric Christian Olsen as Austin. So good. Dean Richmond. Dion Richmond as Malik Token. He was in Scream 3.
That's the other movie I recognize him from.
Yeah, that's really the only thing he was in Van Wilder. He was in Cosby Show for 32 episodes as Kenny.
What?
I don't remember that show enough for that.
Not like anyone's gonna go back and watch the Cosby Show now.
Oh, he was in Psych as Gus's new boss in season 8. That's
maybe
funny.
one of the episodes I caught.
Yeah, Psych is a good show.
All right, urgent. I don't think we can talk about Star Wars yet.
Yeah, still too new. Yeah, I forgot the teacher from Breakfast Club shows up in Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh, to mess with the bully, get the horns.
Chris Evans as Jake Weiler, mainly based on the characters Jack Seiler from She's All That and Jonathan Moxon from Varsity Blues.
Oh man.
Oh man, Varsity Blues. I hated that movie.
I love to hate that movie.
Really?
I hate it because it's got no cultural connection for me because, spoiler, I'm English.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's very overacted too.
It is. I don't want your life.
So good.
And it's like Any Given Sunday. I absolutely love that movie, and I don't know half of what they're talking about.
The one I've seen.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, I liked that movie.
I love it.
I've seen that one.
When I first saw it, I didn't have any connection with football at all, and I adore that movie.
It is one of the best football movies. Also, the reason why I hate Jamie Foxx.
That's fair.
Because I cannot separate him from Willie Beeman. Just can't do it. He is the worst.
Also, another random football movie. The Tom Cruise one. That's absolutely phenomenal. And Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Yes. I absolutely adored that movie. When I first saw that, another thing, I didn't understand what the big deal was with this guy not signing his new contract, whether or not he was going to get injured before making the big play. None of that made any connection with me. That was all about the romantic part of it.
Well, that was kind of the crux of that movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't per se a football flick, but no, man, Al Pacino comes out with some great coach speeches in that.
Oh yeah, he does.
I totally forgot the title of H. John Benjamin's.
Inches we need are all around us.
H. John Benjamin's shitty jazz album is titled "Well, I Should Have," subtitled "Learn How to Play Piano." Benjamin does not know how to play piano, but still does so on the album, and Benjamin has never liked jazz very much.
Did he do that on a dare or something?
No, why did he? I heard an interview with him where it was just like, I have always hated jazz, and I thought, well, anybody can play jazz. You just hit the fucking piano for a while, and you come out with an album. So he did it, and he put out a 30-minute album on Sub Pop. It's just like really shitty jazz. And apparently it's okay.
Yeah, because it's jazz.
Yeah.
Don't like jazz.
About as bad as scat.
All right. We ready to get this thing on the road?
Yep.
Is Venture Brothers ever coming back?
Fucking for real. Like, in my lifetime, am I going to see a new season? I don't want like one episode or one Christmas special. I want like 10 more episodes of fucking Venture Brothers. Come on.
I don't know if they could, I mean, they kind of did the superhero kind of thing when they got that penthouse in New York, but I don't remember much else of that season.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I think I've seen one season of it, and it bounced right off me.
That's a slow burn that it follows its formula too strictly in the first season, and then second season it starts to play with it, and like once it hits the end of the second season, the beginning of the third season, it's just way off the rails in a really great way. It's one of those shows where like the more episodes you see, the more it folds on itself referentially without being annoying.
Yeah.
The henchmen. The henchmen is like my favorite part of those shows.
Yeah.
My biggest thing with stuff like that, though, is like there's a lot of Johnny Quest references. Is it?
No, it formulates itself around the formula that Johnny Quest did, but for maybe like the first episode, and that's really it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then from there, it even satirizes Johnny Quest himself.
Yeah.
Like, what if Johnny Quest grew up to be a coke addict?
Yeah, it's
and
a
you
lot
run
like
into him.
It's a lot like C-Lab, where it's like at the beginning it's very much like we're gonna make fun of C-Lab, and then eventually it grows into its own thing.
What you talking about, fig nuts?
There's another show I've never seen.
I don't know if that show would hold up. I almost feel like that was a flash in the pan. Like you had to be there watching Adult Swim and a little bit drunk at the same time.
Well, it's the same thing with Space Ghost Coast to Coast. That show was horrible. But
really
man,
good.
when that thing was new, was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, I know for sure that one, that show and the Brack Show, I bet don't hold up at all.
I think the Brack Show will probably hold up all right, just for the fact that it's a little more serialized.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we ready?
Plus Zorak is the main character, so
Yeah, can't go wrong.
Just the best.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Going around the room, we have Knobs
Yep.
and Moonpier.
Hello.
A couple of pieces of programming news here at the beginning. This is the last regular episode of the year. Next week will be Top 10, and the week after that is predictions. Fair warning, if we're a little loopy in this episode, we just finished recording predictions, and that's just a couple minutes shy of 2 hours. So we've been recording for a real long time. Fair warning, we won't be doing any live streams for the next 2 weeks, but videos on YouTube will be scheduled, and they will release alongside the audio versions. Moonpier and I do T-A-Bomb R. That will be off for 2 weeks. There'll be a couple spoiler casts in the middle in the meantime, and then we will be back on, I think it's the 6th of January.
I think so.
We'll be back in these chairs ready to do this thing all over again. But we're not done yet. Let's dive into what you've been playing, Mr. Knobs.
Alrighty. So, Monday Night Game Night pretty much turned back into Gears Night.
Can't go wrong.
I think we hit all 50 waves on Monday night for reasons I don't understand why we do this at 10 o'clock, but we do.
Mm-hmm. My rule is if you start it before 10, I'm in. If you start it after 10, I'm out.
It's every week. It's like we're usually racking out around midnight, and it is rough. But meanwhile, we played Gears a few more times during the course of the week. Donnie and I made an attempt on hardcore after Scott lost power to try and finish out 50 on hardcore. We got all the way to the last wave, and that oh man, what's the big ones?
Carriers.
The carrier came in and crushed all our defenses, and then it was a pure scramble from that point on. We had 300,000 power. I thought we were in good shape. After we collected all the stuff, and he did it all in wave. And man, 2 hours later, and we're just beating our head against the wall, and we just can't.
That sucks.
Anyway, so we played. We did that in the middle of the week, and then we played again on was it Saturday night?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Saturday night. We all got grouped up together, and we decided to play the Gearsmas Horde mode.
Oh yeah.
Well, we started with 4 of us, and we jumped into an insane run on the
Fuel Depot.
Yeah, the fuel no, it was the one before that. Or did you come in on the fuel? Yeah, the fuel depot. We started in the fuel depot first on insane after we had some rando quit on us, and those juvies are a handful. And with your fortifications at what is that 1/16 health?
Yep.
Nothing survives one hit from them.
Jeez.
So they go down so quick, and you have no room to cover because you are constantly swarmed. It's only 25 waves, and there's a boss wave, which are more the heavier units are the bosses in it. So you got... Why did that...
I did see out of the corner of Knobs' screen, his other computer's monitor turns on. It's like, wait, what?
I must have hit the mouse. Anyway, the whatchamacallit, so the juvies, and so you got the boom shots, drop shots,
the Sentinel Guardians.
The Sentinels, Guardians, those things spawn as the boss, and so you're not stuck with dealing with a carrier or a snatcher with hundreds of juvies.
So many juvies, and they've all got reindeer horns as well.
They all have antlers. Which was kind of awesome. So the one we played, what was the map we finished on? Because we reset normal.
I honestly don't know.
Well, once we got our fortification set up, and then I started killing them more than the game would count tick marks.
Yep. We learned our lesson because we jumped in on the insane difficulty, and Scott was a heavy, and I loaded in, and in the process of loading in, Scott was like, "Heavy's probably not the best for this." Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I'm a heavy. Changed out that to everybody: 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, and Mr. Roboto over here.
Yep.
And it was much more manageable when you don't blow yourself up.
Yeah. It was definitely manageable, especially with everyone just chainsawing everything, and then I'm lobbing in drop shots on support back from inside the base behind my mech, behind my shock turret horseshoe I created.
Yep. And Donnie was doing random things, like he'd call out and be like, "Okay, everybody, chainsaws only this round, executions only." So there's 4 people running out with chainsaws, chopping up a bunch of juvies, and then you'll just see like a blue circle come over your head and land right in front of you, and it's Knobs in the back, dropping a drop shot and killing like 20 people at once because they're all swarming us.
Literally every one of those I dropped was a quint. Every single one was 5. Was a 5 kill shot. But no, that was a lot of fun. And then after that, we decided to play the same level we played that time on Insane. Like, standard horde mode. By that time we were all teaking pretty good, and we called it at like wave 35. Like, look, we're hitting 40 and we're calling it a night.
Yeah.
So we had our few like growing pain troubles, and we finally get established. And then we're at the part where we're all about to die on 40 on the boss wave. We're down to 3 people. I turn around, I get peeled by a Guardian in that tri-shot. So I'm down, and I just happen to catch myself on Donnie's screen. Which, this might have been the most amazing thing I've ever seen in Gears to date. So Donnie goes down. There's one guy, or Donnie's the only one up. There's one guy chasing around, and we all think he is just boned. There is no way he's going to survive this, because there's a grenader in there with a Boltok, which will put you down in 1 hit on 40. So he goes into cover, like messes up, goes into cover by accident, then hops over cover, then back over cover, and so some reason the grenadier is following his movement. He picks up Ian, and in one fell swoop hits the fabricator, Ian spawns. Donnie goes to the right. He's shot dead in a second, and there's Ian for the last kill shot. And it all happened in this unbelievably style. It looked like we were making John Woo jokes because it looked like a John Woo gunfight where the guy's sitting on the ground with two guns, flipping his legs over in every which direction. Everyone's tumbling over boxes.
Doves are flying out.
That's the joke I made. I was like, I'm waiting for doves to fly out of the bottom right-hand corner, to signify the victory of this fight.
Playing Stranglehold over here.
It was bananas. It was. I cannot believe I watched that happen. And just to randomly end up on Donnie, because the three of us got peeled almost at the same time.
Yeah.
By different things. And we had no idea they had penetrated that far into the base until we're like, oh no, Donnie, shoot, Donnie. Because I thought he was lining him up for a wicked tuna, where he was going to go in and jab him, but he missed and hit the cover, and that's when he went in the cover and they started doing the dance over a guardrail. It was unbelievable.
That's so cool.
So Gears still has some life in it for the unexpected.
Yeah.
So at this point, I don't know which maps I haven't done 50 on Insane at this point.
Is that like a ribbon or achievement in the game?
No idea.
Oh, okay.
It will be in your war. Yeah, it'll be in your war journal.
I'll have to take a peek and see which one. Because I know we did not finish that one, so that's definitely one we got to do. So the Golf Club 2 has also taken up a lot of time lately. And I completely missed an old tournament that I set up. Which I think the one that's going, I think wraps up either today or tomorrow. So I got to line up a few more. And I think we're close to finishing a whole season on 20-something odd tournaments.
Do you know if you get anything for finishing a season?
No idea.
Okay.
That game's just so good. It just needs to be played.
Yeah.
But this last one, I kind of did an experiment where I started limiting the options for the players. So I stripped away club selection.
Mm-hmm.
Not club selection. Shot suggestion. That's gone. Hitting the Y to look where your landing zone's going to be. That's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So literally every shot you go up to, you have your driver out and you have to pick the right club.
Right. You got to like read from where you're sitting.
Right. And then I have the pin placements. Instead of it giving you an exact yardage, it's giving you a range. So you're between 120 and 130 yards away.
Okay.
So you have to kind of manage your whatchamacallit, and you're not seeing whether the pins in the front, middle, or back. So you have to look at you have to pull up. The only thing you could use is B to pull up your scorecard or your little map, your map card, and it marks it out. This is 100, 150, 200 on there, and it gives you your ranges to those points, which is way more helpful than you think it really is.
Yeah. So you're sort of making real golf realer?
Kind of.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish I could do was lock that only screen you could see is when you hit the ball and you have to watch it travel in the air.
Oh, you can't fast forward or anything?
No, you can't fast forward. You couldn't fast forward anyway, but the game plays really quick. But no, just so it doesn't have the camera follow the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you hit the ball and you stand there and you watch it go.
And then once it finally settles in, it zooms in.
Well, no, it doesn't even do that. Then you just up at the next approach shot.
Oh, right.
So that would be the only other thing. So, I mean, right now, Scott started off hot on this round. I don't know where he is right now, but I think I finished in like 2 or 3 under on 4 rounds. And that game moves at a pretty good clip because I think I played those last 3 rounds in about an hour. Wow. So you're around 20 minutes a round. So play time is surprisingly quick. Apparently the word hardcore, the game doesn't like it, so it was all asterisked out.
One of those things where it's like the profanity filter is maybe tuned a little too aggressively.
Yeah, like usually whatever follows hardcore is the bad word.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Like it's like the suffix for nasty stuff.
Right.
But I don't know. It's a solid game, and we've been playing a few courses and like playing from different pin sets and tee boxes has changed some of those courses dramatically.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of play in that, and every round is different. Like, man, just trying to keep your swing consistent is just one of the hardest things to do. But man, when you have a good round and you're shooting lights out,
yeah,
and even trying to figure out the speed of the green once you get on that first green is even challenging, because the course we're playing at now is rated, I think, rated medium, and the greens are slow. Like, they're just, I would call them furry, because the ball is like putting on Velcro.
right.
Like, the ball doesn't roll nearly as far as you anticipated, as compared to a few other courses where you just tap it and it just flies. So putting really did me in on that one. I probably lost at least eight or 9 strokes just from my putting alone. So I was missing 3-foot putts, and I was losing my mind. Losing it. I played and finished Inside this last week, which we talk about on the Game Club cast. So
I forgot to talk about that at the beginning. Yeah.
So look forward to that. Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about for Spoiler Cast.
No, Moon and I recorded Spoilercast for Doki Doki Literature Club and What Remains of Edith Finch. Got 6 episodes coming out over the next couple of weeks. I also have 6 episodes to edit tonight, so that'll be fun for all you patrons out there.
Okay. So then I finally got my new computer up and running, and of course the first thing I play on it is Unreal 2004.
Of course.
Because that game is still awesome. Pounded through the first 4 or 5 ladders of that tournament. That game's still got it. That game's just so good.
That's gonna be one of those timeless games where you can fire it up from 10 years from now and still be like, yeah, this game's good.
Still plays exactly how you remember it.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot how much I love that weapon selection in that game. One of my favorite weapons is the pulse rifle. That you have your alternate ball shot, and then you have like the little quick railgun shot. Man, I love that.
Make it explode as it flies away.
Yeah, hitting that big explosion, just watching the thing give out. It's awesome. Then I tried Starcraft 2 because I wanted to see what Starcraft looked like in 4K.
Oh, yeah.
Which looks incredible. Still way too tight to the action.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping with the resolution I was going to be out further, but no, everything's just sharper and in the same vantage point.
Oh, man. It's so weird because like I feel like they had it right with StarCraft 1, and StarCraft 2 is just like, I need to click that wheel back one more time and I'll be happy.
I would say more like 2,
yeah.
But then I remember Warcraft 3 was the same thing where it was just too tight.
Yeah, that's true.
I just feel like there's so much to manage in that game. You just need a bigger vantage point. But,
yeah, just a little bit more.
But yeah, so then I downloaded PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. I finally played a little bit of that on I think on Saturday.
Okay. Which platform?
Xbox One. So I played it on Saturday for the first time, and not knowing what I was doing at all.
Is this your first exposure to it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, first 2 rounds, I was outside of the battle zone and died twice, just running.
Sure.
Trying to figure out where I was going.
Your battle royale neck, your neck brace exploded.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, when I was in a boat, just kind of exploring the island. Couldn't find anyone. I could hear explosions, just couldn't get to them because I was on a boat. So the next one, I thought I was getting there, but it was not quite there. I got caught up in the air raid explosions, so that was kind of neat. The third game, I beelined it for the area first. So then I got in there, I got all my stuff, and then I kick open a door. Well, no kicking a door, but I kind of went in through a door. And there's a dude with an assault rifle, a trench coat, there I am in my sweatpants and t-shirt. I'm like, you know what? I'm not giving up. And I punched the dude to death.
Awesome.
Nice.
Which, I don't know how... That dude had to have been furious.
Oh, yeah. He only needed to put, like, a couple of bullets in you point blank, and you would have been done.
Oh, he did. He hit me about 3 times. I had about a quarter of my health left, and I finally beat him. And I was hopping. I was doing, like, the hop move, just hopping. I was just flailing. I was just flailing. So I knocked him out, grabbed all his gear, and I started exploring. And someone started taking some pot shots at me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go turn around this corner. I got a shotgun. I was going to, corner shotgun shotty. I was going to grieve some people for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the corner, and there's a dude with an Uzi. And I could have sworn that shotgun shell I got went right in his dome, but it didn't count.
That
That
went right through him.
Motorcycle helmet just did his job, I guess.
Yep, there is a fair bit of talk about that in this household right now. About I put a 50 cal bullet straight through the chest and did nothing to them, and I got hit 3 times in the knee with an M16 and I'm dead.
Yeah, it seems like the Uzis are a little overpowered. Because that thing put me down real quick.
Their rate of fire is insane. Like, really short range, they will destroy you. But as soon as you're like maybe 20 feet away from them, then it's really difficult for an Uzi to put you down. But anything below that, it's quite deadly, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that game's that has potential. I think that world is huge. That island is massive.
Go ahead.
On the PC version, they're doing a test of the... They're going to launch 1.0 on the PC version in a couple of weeks, and they're testing the desert map, which, from the little I've seen, is even bigger than that one, with more interesting stuff to do in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, it was hard to find a vehicle. Like, I didn't know what vehicles were drivable, and I literally just stumbled across the boat.
Oh, yeah.
So I was doing that. I almost beached it immediately, which I was kind of mad about.
A real Battlefield experience where, I'm in a plane. Whoops, I'm dead.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that's what happened with me and Jess. We played a fair bit of PUBG. You guys have all heard me talk about my wife a fair amount and how much she's obsessed with Rainbow Six Siege or Rocket League or any one of 2 other games. PUBG is her new jam.
Oh yeah,
She
are both of you playing it?
We've both been playing it. She's played it a lot more than I have, and it was actually kind of useful the day it came out. She woke up early, she turned on the Xboxes, she got it downloading on both of them.
Got it all prepped.
And then when she comes home from work, it's about 2 p.m. So she had a good 3-4 hours into it before I did. So she was a very helpful teacher in that process. Vehicle-wise, the Jeep specifically is kind of difficult to see which ones are going and which ones aren't. Gameplay wise, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it a lot.
Have you guys played any is it doubles mode?
I've played duos and squads and solo.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the solo mode because
it's rough.
it's very, very difficult when it's 1 versus 100 and not the fun was at 1 versus 100 from the 360 days.
Right.
It's 1 versus 100 in these guys know where the good weapon stashes are. If someone has a SCAR, they are nigh on unstoppable because the SCAR seems to be the most overpowered gun in that game. But once you get in there, if you go in duos or squads, it can be really fun and so tense at the same time.
Yeah.
I think me and Jess hit 3, 4, and 2 in duos. So we came 3rd, 4th, and 2nd.
Wow.
And we came 2nd in squads with 4 of us. And that was Jess, me, Heiko, and Humiliating, which is the best name.
I didn't even know there was squads mode. That's pretty cool. I thought it was just solo and duos.
It's solos, duos, and squads. So it's 1, 2, and 4. They don't have a 3 version, I don't think.
Yeah.
But in general, like I much prefer playing duos or squads, just because you can then go and explore a house, and it's really handy to have somebody there who knows the game a bit better. Because immediately I started playing better because I had Jess explaining things to me, like for example the controls, which are backwards and awkward and difficult to deal with.
They're weird, not insurmountable, just sort of like, oh, that's how you do? Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, like the double tap left trigger to aim down sights, the hold X to reload. I mean, it's just like, you know, you're in the middle of the room just trying to, like, all right, how do I do this? Oh, wait, and then I gotta hit this to equip these things. I gotta ditch this, and I gotta carry that. And it just, there's a lot of learning how to manage your inventory, like, quickly.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is stand still.
Yeah, that is pretty much it's the lesson of this game is stillness is death. Like, the second if you're not safe, if you're not in the bubble, if you're standing still in the middle of a field, you will die one way or another.
Someone's gonna find you. There's, I mean, I think that's the strong suit of PUBG is, there are 99 other people there with you, and that's an incredible amount of people for just crazy stuff to happen. Yeah,
and so far in playing this, it has its issues. Like, let's get this out of the way right now, because Nobs, I'm assuming you're playing this on your X.
Yep.
It doesn't run great on the standard one.
It doesn't even run that great on the X.
No, it doesn't run that great on the X. I mean, granted, there's a lot of open world jank and clippiness, and you know, stuff. Yeah, like, you know, a lot of frame rate drops, and you sit there things like, well, it's a 0.5. I mean,
yeah, right. It's not even a 1.0; it's a 0.5.
Yeah, it's early access.
So you can't be mad about a broken game when it's not officially out.
Well, someone asked on Twitter the other day, you know, should I invest in PUBG right now? And it's like, if you're not super itching to get it, I'd wait to see what the next patch does, because I feel like they're just one good patch away from this running really well.
Mm-hmm.
Although the PC version doesn't run super well either, so I don't know.
Yeah, like because of the situation where we live in, I have the good/bad news of having it right next to each other. So I've got a standard Xbox One running and an Xbox One X running. Her draw distance is not as good as me. Her frame rate is not as good as me. And when it comes to driving a vehicle, I might complain and I might moan a little bit that I'm the one driving. But safety-wise, it makes more sense for me to drive because my frame rate is smoother than theirs. My draw distance is better. You know, it's too easy to cause accidents in vehicles, especially when you've got a squad of 4 in a Jeep and you're careening off a cliff. It's too easy to do that when you're playing on the quote-unquote inferior versions.
Right.
Because the frame rate is so hitchy, it can cause issues. I mean, I'm not complaining. I still love the game. I've already put probably about a good 10 hours into this and barely played anything else. I'm genuinely enjoying the time I'm spending with PUBG. I mean, Nobs, I would love to jump in, me, you, Jess, get Heiko back in the chain, and then
Dream Team.
Have a Dream Team reunion.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say I'm not going to play it, but I mean, it's definitely something I need more time with.
Yeah.
Or really get the feel of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game has potential. I just kind of wish it gave you a little more time to get into the battle zone, because that 5 minutes, or not 5, is it 5 minutes?
I think when you first jump out the plane, it's 5 minutes, because the biggest problem with it is when the plane's going over the land, because there's 100 people in the plane, everybody jumps out whenever they feel like it. You don't get the circle of protection, like the area where it's going to be safe, until everybody has landed, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Then it pops that up. So then it becomes a case of where are you in comparison with the circle? Right. If you're lucky, you landed dead center and you have a fair bit of supplies, and then it's just a waiting game. If you're unlucky, you pray for a vehicle, because if you don't get a vehicle, you're done.
Yeah, you don't have a chance. And I did that, I think, 2 out of the 4 times I played, where I was more or less looking, like, I want to check out this area, I want to check out that area. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to try and land in the nuclear silo, because that seems awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh God.
I was gonna say, and then I spent the rest of my time literally running east.
Yep.
And I think it's a real bummer, and I really wish they would have resolved it before it came out on the Xbox One. Is I wish there was any form of a tutorial. Even if it's just like, here's a room, and here's a bunch of weapons, here's how to pick them up and equip them and move them in your backpack, and here's a couple doors to open. Like, just the simplest of stuff, because, like Knobs is talking, you hold X to reload, but you also hit X to pick stuff up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And interact with things.
Yeah.
You hold left trigger to aim, you tap it to go down sights. When you're down sights, you can do I think it's left bumper, right bumper does the siege lean.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 different stages of stances with the B button. It needs a firing range. Yes. Here is a firing range. Go explore. And best part of it is there is actually a firing range on the island.
Well, I feel like their original design was, when everyone is together in the pre-match lobby, like that's when it's the time to sort of learn stuff, but it's chaos.
There's nothing to interact with. Yeah, everyone's
like,
punching each other.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to climb the wreck plane. That's all I do.
Yeah.
And it's 60 seconds if you're lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I think is good is I haven't played this, and I'm just sort of watching a little bit from the outside, but it looks like they're pretty committed to making major improvements to this. As time goes on.
Yeah.
And then last thing, I decided to torture myself and try and finish Halo 3.
Trying to wrap out the year, right?
How's
the talking plant monster?
No, I already got past the talking plant monster.
Okay.
Now, for some reason, I've gone. No, I'm in the Halo 3. So I've gone through the portal, and I'm in the not Halo, but this Ark-looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm fighting alongside the elites against the brutes.
Yep,
those sound like Halo units.
Yeah, and man, vehicles just the worst.
They're so squirrely.
I keep getting shot down in this Hornet, and it is driving me nuts. That's the UNSC's shooter fly thing.
Yeah, is that the one pilot one, not the one that drops the Warthogs, but the other ones, like the mini version?
It's not the Pelican. It's not the Pelican. The thing they totally aped from Aliens. It's not that plane.
Yes, it's the little one.
Yeah, it's the little one-seater. Yeah, like the Banshees. Is it the Banshees are flying one?
The purple ones, I think.
The purple flying one.
That's one of the flying ones, yeah.
Whatever
the Banshee is the purple one.
That one can maneuver so much better. Mm-hmm. Like you have, it'd be like an F-35 against a biplane is what I feel like.
That's why the aliens are winning. They just have tighter controls.
Yeah, they got tighter vectors, I guess.
Right.
But no, so I'm part of the way through this, and man, these weapons are just the worst.
Yeah.
And the movement speed and everything about this thing, I literally play for 20 to 45 minutes, and then I have that just
gritting your teeth.
Nope. Or literally, like, I will go and watch YouTube for 20 minutes to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, then go back into it, and then just fire myself up completely again.
Yeah.
I think I am on chapter 8 of 11, so I got 3 more of these things, and then I got ODST and Halo 4, and then I'm going to destroy this disc.
All right. I'm waiting for the day.
Because I just can't anymore. Like, this game infuriates me on so many levels.
Yeah.
And I know I'm sure makes a lot of people probably yelling at their podcast listening devices right now saying, I don't get it. It's like, no, I get it. Like, this is most people's first experience with a shooter on a home console that's kind of okay. It is not good. Because when everyone was all in Halo's bandwagon, UT99 is playing on my computer, which is way better.
Yeah, I mean, It's, you know, the worst kept secret of this show that we are not exactly Halo fans of any stripe. And I think we've always constrained, yeah, I get it, and I get why it's famous, and it's popular for a lot of reasons. I don't like playing it. I don't have any fun at any point when I'm playing it. I've tried 3 Halo games, maybe 4 now, and I can't.
Someone can explain this to me. How can I jump 20 feet in the air and can't move faster than a fat man's jog?
Yeah, you
like,
have this like real stompy gait.
Like it's what is it, master strut everywhere? Like it doesn't move the way you would expect someone in a super exo macho suit to move.
Right.
And it's just, man,
it's frustrating.
Yeah, sure, it's a product of its time, and they had to slow down the gameplay for the console generation, which I think is BS. But
I think Knobs, you and I are so used to build engine games like Blood and Duke Nukem, and especially the Quake series, where Quake, is moving at 120 miles an hour. Like it's staggeringly fast, and it's just playing Halo is. It's such a deliberate game. They made a really deliberate game where it moves specifically. The moment-to-moment gameplay is so deliberate, and I just don't click with that at all. Yeah,
and the enemies, and I feel like I'm shooting Nerf pellets with certain guns, and not being able to use the gun that I seem to like at any given time is also frustrating.
Yeah.
That I'm constantly scavenging things, which I understand the mechanic why you do that, because you want everyone to use, or you want to constantly be trying new guns. But this is the 3rd iteration of the series. Like, you have one gun that I like.
Well, hang some hooks on that spacesuit. Let me carry more than 2 guns.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, put a magnet on it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Halo, still not our jam.
I like it.
It's not my
You would.
I can defend some of these points, but I refuse to, because I know it's just going to start an argument and a heated discussion, and I'm too tired for this.
Yeah.
Well, what? All right, just for sake of argument here, like what could be defended about that?
I'm not gonna say anything, because you guys, I love you both. You're both fantastic guys. I ain't gonna change your mind by defending it, so I'm not going to defend it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think the first one had an excuse. Every game beyond that point does not.
Boy, it's almost like another series Bungie's making. Huh, weird. Anyway, anything else you played this week?
Nope.
Alright, Moonpier. What do you have on the docket?
Well, other than PUBG, which I played way too much of, Inside, check out the podcast for that, Game Club, coming out soon. Wednesday, is it?
Today. Whenever it's done editing.
Yeah, whenever that gets finished.
Yeah.
Other than that, really, I haven't played anything except for Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to be like, I got nothing.
Well, literally, it's PUBG and Assassin's Creed Origins, to be completely honest.
That's alright.
That and watching a whole bunch of pro wrestling, because why not? I'm back in that mood again.
There you go.
Let's talk about pro wrestling for about an hour. No, let's not.
No, I'm okay.
Ian, I'll catch you on chat. Same with you, Tomsy. But no, I've pretty much just been. I wanted a comfort game, and AEC Origins right now. I've beat the campaign. Hey, guess what? There's a whole bunch of stuff on that map that needs ticking off.
Bunch of pins that drop out of the sky.
It's not, it's not Syndicate or Unity by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm enjoying being in the world. There's a bunch of side quests to do. So let's go around, do some side quests, try and get some of those sweet Chivos that I.
Have you tried to fight any of the world bosses yet?
I fought the most recent one.
Okay.
And it was very bland, if I'm completely honest.
Mm.
It was, oh hey, I'm level 40 and I have a level 40 bow that does really wicked damage. Shoot at this glowing circle on the chest. After a while, she spawns 4 people. Kill them with sword and shield, all the while avoiding the death rays that the boss fires.
Mm.
it was nothing really special,
Yeah.
to be completely honest.
Interesting idea, but hopefully they expand on it.
Yeah, I mean, the part for that seems to be that you are working towards Anubis gear, which is, I think someone in our Discord actually posted a photo of them with the full Anubis gear set, I think. But it's gear. I don't need gear. I've got so much gear as it is. I'm fine.
I am the gear.
So
Yes.
what music boxes do you got to get the Anubis gear? How many scarabs is that?
Musical scarabs.
It's no scarabs so far, but it's a whole bunch of ancient tablets and mystical machines, which are black onyx machines. And guess what? They speak to you from the future.
Awesome.
Oh, the Necronomicon, you say?
Mm-hmm. That moment in Assassin's Creed 2 where it starts talking to Desmond, it's a whole bunch of them.
Great. I like it.
Lot of them, and talking about the the intricacies of time and how we only understand time in a two-dimensional process. However, if we understood the language of time in its entirety, we would be able to see and witness and experience all things at all times. So life would be...
But gravity can break the fabric of time.
I guess it can, according to that movie I forgot the name of.
And here's John with the weather.
Yes. It's been really, really fun to just, come home, sit down, warm up, and just clear out some areas. Because the only old school Assassin's Creed thing that's really bad about it is it has the sweet Chivo for clearing every single location in the game.
Yeah, great.
There is a lot of them. There is nowhere near as many of them as there used to be. And that also includes the elephant camps, where you have to fight war elephants by yourself.
Okay, that's not where I was expecting.
What are you, Legolas?
Yeah.
Basically, yes, except Legolas was a lot more efficient with his arrows. But it's fun. I'm just jumping in, cleaning out some stuff. Quick bit of props to Ubisoft here. They have made quality of life improvements in that game shockingly fast. The map is a lot easier to read. When you've completed an area, it's a lot easier to read. It feels like they've tightened the camera a fair bit as well to make it less wishy-washy. So I think they're doing a good job. In every patch it seems that they're coming out with is doing something really well to make that game even better to play. So Austin, jump on board the Egypt bandwagon whenever you're ready, really.
Yeah, God, the pile of games I have in front of me is ridiculous.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing, that and PUBG.
The second half of Big Destiny 2 patches came out. One came out on December 5th and one came out on December 12th. The December 12th one brought in Masterwork weapons, which is between your purple weapons and your exotic ones. Sort of
because it needs another gradient.
Well, it sort of does, because what they're trying to resolve is, can they build in any sort of grind? Because when they launched Destiny 2, all they heard was, well, we don't want to, some of the weapon rolls are a little bit tough, and they go, all right, I have the solution. No more random perks on weapons. It's like, well, okay, that's not really what we wanted. So these ones, you can upgrade them. They track kills. Multiple kills generate orbs for your team. They do have re-rollable skills on them, so they're getting there. It's a good idea that I hope they keep working on. I don't have any of the weapons because they're fairly rare to drop, which in Destiny 2 is nice, because they hand you weapons like crazy. I did want to go into the Infinite Forest a little bit to just run it a little bit more and see if I could see some variance on it, and I found out that you can't. You cannot just run it as a dungeon. You can't just go in there. You have to have a mission to do it, or one of the adventures, or replay the story. It's one of those decisions where it's like, yeah, you thought that was the answer?
Have they been talking to Nicholas?
You have your two choices, and you just pick the worst one.
Yeah, at every turn. So I thought, well, they patched in heroic strikes, let me try doing heroic strikes. I really liked how they did those in Destiny 1. It was a more difficult experience, and then they had modifiers on them. So it'd be, arc burn. So, arc weapons do triple the damage, and maybe it's, I think it was called catapult, so your grenades recharge at an incredibly fast rate. So you're having fun, and it's hampering you in some way, and it's benefiting you in some other way. So I started the strike playlist. All they did was they made the strikes more difficult. They didn't add modifiers, they didn't add anything different.
Oh, right.
So it's another thing where it's like, I tried to come back, and I tried to put a little bit more time into it, and it's not worth it still. It's still not a great experience. So let's move on to the Wolfensteins.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah. So last week I finished Wolf 1, and I largely liked that experience a lot. So I started The Old Blood, which is the prequel to The New Order, and I made it through the prologue and the first 2 areas before I uninstalled it. The Old Blood couldn't be more of a different experience from what I liked in The New Order. Like, the prologue was pretty fine. There was that really great hot dog line at the very beginning, which is priceless. I was just dropping something. But immediately after that, you get captured in some sort of prison, and Chapter 1 is a really long and really punishing stealth sequence.
Yep.
And it would have been cool for like one hallway, but it's the whole level. And that's followed up by a really long gunfight, and then I quit halfway through the you're riding on a boat on rails section. It's like...
Yep.
Was that the gunfight in that diner, or that little...
No, it's like a dock area. Like right before
that
you get on the boat.
There were two or three really bad gunfights, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
But I thought the narrative in that, and plus it had probably the best credit song I've ever heard.
Yeah, I really wanted to make it through, but I know it was a 4-hour game, and I thought, well, for my 4 hours, I could play Wolfenstein 2 and get halfway through it. So I'll just do that. So I moved on to Wolfenstein 2. And, man, that's a thing. This is not a game I am enjoying virtually any part of. Shocking.
Yep. I was waiting for this.
Believe that.
I
was listening to another podcast, and they had the same thing. I was like, I don't like it. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
So I have 3 primary problems with the game here, and I'm gonna spoil some of the really minor stuff at the beginning, in like the first hour. So if you really care, then this is the last thing I'm talking about. Skip forward to the next segment. But I feel like the difficulty has been ratcheted up pretty significantly in that everything is a bullet sponge now. The shooting feels a little bit different. I feel like in a positive way. I feel like a lot of the shooting is a lot tighter. It's easier to aim down sights. It's easier to shoot down sights. It feels like a tighter shooting experience. But so much stuff in the game takes so many shots that I don't find that as fun. And I'm playing on whatever the easiest,
Baby mode.
Yeah, Don't Hurt Me, Daddy, whatever it is.
Don't Hurt Me, Daddy is correct.
Yeah. So I'm playing on that, and it's it still feels too hard, like in a really weird way, where I felt like I was just like a John Woo movie, just one-shotting everything with double guns in the first one. And man, those drones are still terrible. I hate them.
I hate drones. I hate drones in all games.
And one of the biggest problems I have in this game is the weapon upgrade system is really frustrating. I liked how it was in the first one, where you found a lot of pieces in the environment, and it rewarded you more for just scavenging the environment and finding stuff. finding the upgrade kits and deciding what you upgrade is kind of a cool idea, but I was really frustrated at not having the silencer for the pistol, because otherwise your stealth is pretty non-existent. Throwing hatchets doesn't really work how I thought it was going to.
They do have a silencer on the pistol?
You have to upgrade to get it.
Yeah, you have to upgrade to get it.
Yeah.
You did in the first one, didn't you?
No.
You found it really early.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You found that, like, I probably didn't have that till your first upgrade kit's probably about a good hour in.
Yeah.
And that was literally the first thing I used.
Yeah. I think the balance between gameplay and the amount of gameplay versus the amount of story is way off kilter. I really liked... in hindsight, I really liked, in the first one, Carolyn just barking orders at you in 2.5 seconds and you getting in a helicopter and going somewhere else. One of the best cases I can give about this being unbalanced is when Super Spesh is telling you how aliens are involved in everything in Roswell, that went on for a really, really long time.
Yeah, it did.
And that character is not great. None of the new characters are great. And I
disagree with you there, but that's fine.
I really hate Grace. So here's my problem. I don't like the new characters because I feel like in the first game, that crew earned so much. And like when you start at the beginning of the second game, like you're already established. Like you have a chain of command, like everybody's here and everyone's working. Max Haas, like we got it down. I really don't like that Grace just comes in and
she's the leader.
Yeah, like without really any argument or discussion, it's just like, hey, go do these things.
That bothered me a little bit, but if you're walking around the U-boat, you do get a lot of people saying, well, we need a new leader. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be BJ?
Sure as hell it's going to be BJ. That dude's rough.
Yeah, and then people are like, no, it can't be BJ because of this. Is it going to be this person? Is it going to be the scientist? So on and so forth. There is a lot of discussion about who the new leader is going to be before she actually gets there.
I hated her at the start. By the end of the game, I was like, I get it. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, I'm still going to stick with it because when the shooting is good, it's really good. And when we're focused on BJ and we're focused on his history, that stuff is really good. Like, BJ's past and BJ's childhood is all really good.
Shocking.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. And
I think my other part that the biggest part I have a problem with in this game, and here's where some minor spoilers come at the beginning. This game, I think, is too happy to, like, luxuriate in the misery. Like, I think the first game was really good about saying, look, the Nazis won. Like, they dropped an atom bomb on New York. Everything is terrible. But we have a job to do. And I think they took that too far in Wolf 2. In the intro, stuff we didn't talk about a couple weeks ago because the game was still too new, is when your dad has you try and shoot the family dog, which thankfully you don't have to.
What?
Just move the gun, dude.
You did it. I did not do that.
Just move the gun. Just move the gun and shoot the wall. You shot the dog?
It wouldn't let me. I couldn't move it.
You moved the gun?
Yeah, once he eventually takes his hand off the gun, you just move the gun. The dog still dies, but you don't shoot it. But we all learned something today. So I think the game can't get away from that moment for the rest of the stuff that I've played. And it is continuing to retell.
It can't get away from it. How? Like it's trying to live up to that moment. Or...
Well, no, I'm getting there. What it tries to do is it's trying too hard to tell you. You obviously know that Rip, BJ's dad, is a bad guy. You don't need him to shoot the dog to know that he's a bad dude. he tells you that by saying the N-word and beating his son and beating his wife, and there's a million other reasons.
Yeah.
You don't need the game to do what it did when you re-meet up with the villain to let you know that that person is real bad.
Yes.
And I think, for me, a lot of times the game is going too far and hanging out there too often. Like, when you first meet Grace, and she's telling you about how there's that boy wandering the streets and the skin is dripping off his arms, and it's just like, yeah, cool, dude, I get it. Like, all of this is real bad. Like, we don't need to break it down in excruciating detail this often. Let me just shoot some Nazis.
Out of curiosity, do you think that's because you're so close to the first Wolf? Like, you only just finished Wolf 1, you saw how bad it was. For me, I don't think I felt that way because it's been so long since I played Wolf 1.
We had a good, maybe between the Old Blood, we had at least a year and a half buffer between those games.
Well, I think for me, what the real problem is that so much media that I've been ingesting at the end of this year has been like that. You know, I watched all of BoJack Horseman. I played Doki Doki Literature Club. I'm reading a bunch of really bummer stuff. Like, to me, this is just the straw that broke my back, where it's like, I get it. Stuff sucks. Can I just shoot some Nazis? Like, shut the hell up and let me play this game and let me shoot some Nazis, because the story that you're telling so far is not engaging except for the BJ-focused stuff. Like, when you go to Mesquite, that stuff's fantastic. All that stuff is really great. And then you get back on the stupid boat, and I don't care about any of that stuff.
Did you feed the pig?
Of course I fed the pig. Pig was hungry. Got some potatoes. Max Haas. You know, like, I gotta help out Max Haas. And I think it's a real bummer that people like Bombate and people like Fergus are taking a real back seat to these new characters that I don't like as much. I like Fergus a lot. I like Fergus struggling with the thing he has attached to him. Those scenes are really great. And then
the Nazi arm is awesome.
Yeah, like, and then we start dealing with Super Spesh and Grace, who they're just characters that I don't really enjoy. Yeah, and, like, I want more Set Roth. He's still great. He has a
there is not enough Set Roth. Nowhere near enough Set Roth.
I did pick the enhancement that I think you guys didn't. I picked the super squishing one.
I picked it.
Okay. The animation on that is pretty gross.
Yes, I told you.
It's so hard to understand, but seeing your hands crawling through a pipe that are the same size as your face is so weird. And hearing that, like, noise when it squishes you down, real weird.
The fisheye lens it does as well to make everything seem elongated and stretched is terrible.
The training for that was real bad, though. I had to look up how to get through the training course. Because the game tells you, crouch down in front of something you want to crawl under, and you'll shrink down and crawl under it. That's wrong. You have to crouch down and then look down at the floor, and then you squish down.
Yep.
So I'm like walking around this room. I was like, this thing has yellow arrows and a gap underneath it. I have to go under here. Let me through there.
See, that's why I like the stilty legs, man. It just went chink chink chink, and you're up. And you're like, great.
Yeah, I'm so stealth focused that I figured that thing has immediately paid off on the next mission. Like, I snuck through a bunch of pipes to go back around a separate way and ended up behind 2 commanders immediately. And I was like, well, great. This is fantastic. Now I can just sneak behind all these guys.
Then you get the ankle moment as well.
Yeah, that's really good. And plus it has the upgrade where when enemies see you, it slows down time because they're freaked out.
Yep.
I don't know if the other ones have that.
No.
It's pretty worthwhile.
I think the stilts, I think they had when you go on the weapon wheel, it pauses the game, I think. Was that the stilts?
I did not notice that. I think I got a damage boost by being up high.
Oh, cool.
Whenever I get your point early on. Like, it seemed like it was way too quick to be throwing armored enemies at you.
Yeah. And there's something about those robots that really creep me out. I don't know if it's
because
because
the movements.
they move real fast, or their faces are a little too good. But I really like taking the hatchet and just putting it in their neck and just popping their head off. It's a game that I have a feeling I will really enjoy by the time I get to the end of it. It's doing so much stuff very differently from what I enjoyed in the first one, and combining that with a map that is suddenly useless. And
I did not like the map in this.
I feel like a lot of the stuff in New York the map is way too complicated for where Wolfenstein succeeds. I thought the first game succeeded very well because it was, here's a clear map, here are some interesting but clear areas to go through that you're rewarded for exploring. I can't stop getting lost in this game.
I couldn't stand the when you first arrive in New York on that little submarine, and then it gets this really vertical thing. Like, where do I go now?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Do I go up the building? Like,
do I have to go down to the basement? Like, I don't know which way I have to go.
And I think to talk about a couple things the game does right, I really love the menus. I really love how it looks like. It's almost like
that little projector screen.
Yeah, like someone puts a film on a projector. I really like the animations for the tutorials. I love the concept art. There's so much of it in there, and all of it is so good. I really like how they redid the perk system. It's so much clearer about what I need to do to get which perks. The perks are way better, and I've already maxed out my melee kills people thing because it's so easy to do on the easiest difficulty. And it's so great to watch that bar fill up to say, like, all right, now you're 20 out of 30. If you do 10 more, you get this bonus, but it's a little bit better. I think that's so much better. So much of the underlying game like that is really good. It's just the first half of that game is pretty frustrating.
It does kick you and punch you in the stomach for that first half of the game, but it really pays off.
Yeah, and that's how I'm sort of feeling. It's just I at the point I'm at the halfway point. I've hit the big story moment that everyone is talking about, and I know it will pay off. It's just that first half is it's bleak. Though going to Roswell was a really great scene, walking around Roswell. We're sort of like, right, this is for real. Like, this is actually on the street what happened.
So you haven't been... No, you had to have, because you got the... whatchamacallit.
He's had the Washington Monument sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I completed one mission after that. I had to get like a dossier for Chicago, I think it was. So I just finished that and went back to home base. So I sort of see what they're unlocking now, which is positive. So I'm excited to play the back half of that game. My clock says 4.5 hours at the halfway point, which I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah.
A 10-hour experience for this game is going to be all right by me, because I have a lot of other games to play. So bomb through another pretty great game, kill some Nazis. It's all good in a day's work. So, but unfortunately, I won't be able to talk about that for another couple weeks. But that's all the games I played. So let's take a break.
All right.
I do like BJ's new jacket, though. That yellow jacket.
Yeah. Could it be wearing anything a little more obnoxious?
Yeah.
Like.
I'm watching this this Dead or Alive 5 tournament that's going on right now, because it seems like Team Ninja has an announcement, but they still have not announced anything. Just want them to announce something. I'm sort of not expecting them to announce DOA 6, but...
No, it's going to be DOA 5, the final round.
I don't know. They just stopped... the DLC ran out on DOA 5. They've stopped selling that. Well, they've stopped making more of it. So I feel like they're sort of done with DOA 5 right now. They just had a little thing where DOA 5 came out 5 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the last round came out 2 years ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been long.
Well, I mean, 'cause DOA 5 came out during the 360.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, man. They just need to go back to their roots for Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Just get a good Ninja Gaiden game and then rebuild back up from that.
It's possible. They can do it. I have faith. All right, I'm ready to wrap this thing up whenever you guys are.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
All right, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases for December 18th, 2017. Life is Strange Before the Storm, Episode 3. So it is done before year's end.
Yep. So
Yes.
close to top 10. Yeah, I'm. It comes out in 2 days. I am so incredibly excited to. I just really hope they wrap it up as strongly as the first 2 episodes have been. And I think they can. I hope so, because I'd like to recommend this and say, yeah, they put out another good Life is Strange game. That would be really. You could say, like, play both of them, and you'll have a lot of good point and click adventure stuff going on.
Yeah, so I'm probably in the market to pick that up then.
Yeah, the season pass, like the deluxe edition version, has been on sale for pretty cheap lately, like $15. So you can scoop that up. All right, let's move on to news stories. Night School Studio, the creator of Oxygen Free, have announced After Party. This game, you go on a cross-hell pub crawl to outdrink Satan to free your souls.
Yep.
Seems
Sounds
right.
like fun.
That's all I need to know. Already in. And that's kind of all that we know about it. But who cares? That sounds incredible. I did have a news story here for, Team Ninja is at some tournament for Dead or Alive, and most people are saying, like, hey, are they going to announce DOA 6? And I hoped they would be done with the stream by the time we were at this segment, but they're not. So either DOA 6 got announced or it didn't. I don't know.
Schrodinger's DOA.
There you go. And last but not least, Capcom announced the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which I thought was not going to be great. But they put every Street Fighter game in there from the original all the way to all of the versions of 2 and 3 and Alpha.
Whoa.
On one disc.
That seems neat.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because not only does it have the original, which a lot of people haven't played, and it's not that
It's hot garbage.
It's like
pretty
the
not
original DOA is pretty bad.
Yeah. They have all the versions of Street Fighter 2. Like, a bunch of stuff has multiplayer in it. Not all the games, but kind of all of the ones you would want to have multiplayer on them. Online multiplayer on the disc. So,
It's
pretty
the
cool.
alpha, though. Like, when was the last time the alpha games got a release?
PS1 and Saturn?
Oof.
I think that was where Alpha 3 came out, I think. But yeah, it's been forever. And I think the thing is, we've gotten some Street Fighter collections before, but they haven't been as encompassing as this one, and they've usually been really bad. Where it's like,
Yeah.
they play pretty well, but the sound is all messed up. Like, what did you guys do? Where it's like, it runs really smoothly, but you guys did something to the pixels, and it doesn't look good. Like, how'd you screw this up?
12 games.
Yeah, pretty incredible. And there was some news about Street Fighter 5, but I don't really understand it. So, but they're coming out with a cool Street Fighter collection. Like, I don't know how much it is, but if you put that out at like $30, that's a no-brainer for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to questions. Servo in Discord says, has there ever been a time when odd details were missing from a render, or you knew something didn't look right in a game and drove you crazy? For example, I'm a truck driver, so anytime I see airlines missing from the back of a tractor cab, American Truck Simulator, you're called Simulator, come on, it grinds my gears.
Palette swaps always bothered me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They always did.
Yeah.
To be honest, nothing like that ever really sticks out to me, because despite the fact that I'm the one with the X and I'm the one with the 4K TV, I never really pay that much attention to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I can notice the difference, but then generally speaking, once the difference has been noticed, or once there is something like that happens, like the eyelids fold back, or the smile is just slightly crooked, or something like that.
Right.
I notice it. I log it in my brain, and I'm like, okay, it's a feature.
Animation rigging is hard.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the only thing that drives me crazy is when there's like a server room in video games, and it looks like a Cray mainframe from the 50s.
Yeah,
it's just like
the big tape reels.
Yeah, it's just like, or it's like huge and it fills the room. It's like they're not like that anymore. Like, it's okay if you have like 100 servers sitting here, but that's, or it's just like
it's
super
not like the server room at
lights.
Hooli.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like 100 blinky lights, and it's like all these servers have one light on them nowadays, and like you can turn that off. So like that's the sort of stuff where it's like, but I know that someone would go and remember those old IBM commercials where like they shrink down the data center to like one server sitting in the middle of this giant empty room. Like if you put that in a server room in a video game, and they're like, oh, it's just like one machine sitting here. It's sort of like, I know that looks dumb, so.
Oh, remember the old advertisements for the blades, where it had the room of all the wires and stuff going in, and it has the one blade. Like,
yeah. God, blades were so cool. Those are still around. Those are still really popular. Zip drives.
Zip disk.
Zip disk. I have.
It's a casserole, Sheila. It'll keep.
Here, I have a zip drive right here. My dad wants me to get the data off of his Zip 100 drives. If anyone doesn't remember these from the 90s, it's they hold 100 megs. So if that gives you an indication of how old it is, shockingly, my computer does not have a parallel port or a SCSI port. So I have to figure something out.
I had a Zip 250 laying around here somewhere.
Yeah. I have a Zip 100 that's broken as a coaster right now. Because that's what you earn, zip drives.
Like, out of curiosity, how important is this data if it's been on these zip drives for that long?
Boy, Moon, that's a really great question. And my dad's answer was, it's like, okay, I'll try. My favorite thing about the zip drives was walking into Micro Center or CompUSA back in the 90s. I don't remember which one it was. But they had this stand-up display where it was one zip drive, and it's just like about this thick. It's not very thick. And then floppies at that point were 1.44 megs, so they had like 80 of them stacked up and like one zip disk next to it. We're like, all of this fits into this, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then CDs came out, and it's like,
then there's like 100 zip disks fits in one CD.
Yeah. Ah, good times. All right, Jet Ice in Discord asks, with the pending release of Predator and Ghost Recon Wildlands, what other iconic film characters would you like to see in a game as special download?
None.
None? Keep
None.
it pure?
Yeah. If you're going to give me aliens in a game, put them in an aliens game. If you're going to give me Predator, put them in a Predator game. Not a janky, backwards, bad game. Just put the time in and do it.
I was going to say we haven't gotten a good Predator game or Aliens game, but that's not true for Aliens.
Yep, that is on my to-play list for 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, Isolation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's supposed to be real good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like Mortal Kombat 9 and X, sorry, I almost called it 10, they sort of sealed it where it's like, Jason's in here, and Freddy's in here.
And Beefy Morph is in there as well.
The what now?
The Beefy Morph, the Xenomorph, who is just looks like Jax with a tail.
Beefy Morph. I thought there was some like horror character I hadn't known about.
I wish they would go all the way, like put Basket Case in there, or Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, like just put out like a 80s horror pack.
Put in Angela from Angela would be a great addition to Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
From Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah. Sleepaway Camp. So good.
I still haven't seen it.
I love that movie.
It's really good. It's really good and really short. I think it's 70 minutes.
if you have not had that reveal spoiled for you, go watch Sleepaway Camp now.
Yeah, that's a real good movie. Yeah, I don't know. I sort of feel like if you're gonna put characters like this in a game, you have to lean all the way into how stupid it is, or you can't do it at all. Like, you can't put the Predator in the Dragon Ball Fighter Z game that's gonna come out. That doesn't make sense. But if you want to put a capsule car in there as a fighter, yeah. All right.
Oh, hold on. Are we harkening back to Fighters Megamix here?
Fighters Megamix, man. I totally forgot about that, where it's like, you get to play as a car!
Yep. Oh, this is
great. It's like Hawken.
Yeah.
Daytona.
Yeah, the Daytona USA car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like that's such a fine line you have to dance between, is this going to be dumb in the good way, or is this going to be dumb in the dumb way?
My biggest question is he coming in as a playable character, or is he coming in as a you and your 3 friends have to hunt down the Predator?
No, I think he's hunting you down, and it's only for like a month, if I remember correctly.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I still don't want it. I don't want it, but it's kind of cool.
I don't want it, but you're starting to sell me. But then, unfortunately, Ghost Recon Wildlands didn't get a super warm reception, so... Although I guess it's better than putting in Assassin's Creed Origins. Yes. You're being hunted by the Predator, and it's like,
I think they could make that make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, please. If they're going to stick anything in Origins from movies, it needs to be a Stargate.
Ah, crap, you're right. I was going to suggest
Here comes
Egyptian
Kurt
Jason.
Russell.
Yeah, exactly.
Just Kurt Russell voiced by Kurt Russell. T-Bomb Rocks asks our final question here. You have an entire... 2 questions, actually. You have an entire day of uninterrupted gaming. What are you playing? Whatever I'm playing right now, I would try and finish it. I may start something else. Like, I would finish Wolf 2 and start on... I don't know what's next on my list.
I don't know. It's like there's a Borderlands I'm playing, then it's Borderlands.
Yeah, for as many hours as you're awake.
Yeah, I tend to bounce anyway, to be honest. Like, I tend to bounce from game to game, even when I don't have a full uninterrupted day. Last week is a prime example. I played Origins for an hour, then I played PUBG for 3 hours, and then I jumped off that, did my daily for Isaac, and then tried to do a bit of running around in Isaac, and then jumped back onto PUBG, and then jumped over to Netflix to close night.
Yeah.
I jump around all the time.
I think whenever I have uninterrupted stuff, I try and make real progress in something I'm playing. Like, not side quest stuff, not, playing around. I want to make real progress in something I'm playing right now. It's because I get so little of that dedicated time. I want to make it worth.
I think that's how I finished Shadow Warrior 2 and whatchamacallit, Wolfenstein within the same week, because I had uninterrupted evenings where I could just pound through them.
Yeah. Those are the good times. It's like I have 4 hours to just do nothing. I'm gonna do some stuff. And his other question is, with the rumored Burnout Paradise remaster releasing in March, what other 360 PS3 games would you want a remake of? For me, I would love to see Blue Dragon or Lost Odyssey.
Eternal Sonata. Give me that in sweet 4K.
Yeah. I would actually vote for Lost Odyssey. Because I want more people to play that game, and I would sort of want to see if it's still good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have a good memory of that game. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can go home again with that. I of course always want to say Tales of Vesperia, but Namco Bandai have forgotten that game exists, so whatever. I haven't even heard that there's a Burnout Paradise remaster rumored, but that's...
I hope there is.
Yeah, that would be fun for... I bet a lot of people missed it on 360 if they didn't have one of those consoles, as ubiquitous as it was. I bet that could have a really good second life on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a classic, but it's the definition of a cult classic.
Yeah.
Where if you were into it, you were all the way into it.
I would like for them to find a way to replace the Xbox 360's Vision camera implementation, not only for your driver's license, but also, I don't remember if you remember, if people had it and you played online and you crashed into them,
It took a screenshot.
No, it would send a picture of them reacting to your crash.
That's awesome.
Vision camera was so cool, and like that and Uno used it.
I think it worked really in Burnout. I think it worked really well both ways. If you took someone out, it would show you their reaction, and it would show them your reaction of taking them out.
Yeah.
So it would work both ways.
And in Uno, we all know what we saw.
Yeah.
We all saw it.
A lot of Ds.
Yeah, a lot of Ds. That was such a weird, cool, fun game that also had the side effect of, I'm going to see some people doing it while I'm playing Uno.
It's Uno roulette.
It really was,
pretty much.
Yeah. It's such a weird experience that, like, I think when they put that out, they were like, oh man, people can like talk to each other and see each other when they're playing. Oh my god, what have we done? And I think from that point on, everyone's like, you can't use the Vision camera, you cannot use the camera anymore in any games. This was rated E, for God's sakes. Think of the children. And it's like,
it ruined it for everybody.
It ruined it for everyone. Uno of
all the things of it was Uno. Like it doesn't get more innocent than a game of Uno.
And that version of Uno was so good, and they've never just put it back out. The new Uno isn't as good, for some reason. Which is not a thing I thought I'd say. Also, put out Risk Factions again. I want to play that on my Xbox One.
Yeah.
Game was great.
It was a fun game.
Gatling Gears. So many great indie games on 360. Oh, man. Alright, well that's all of our questions, and my voice is giving out. I still have one more episode to record, so... if you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us, tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp. Discord link and all the other links are on the right-hand side of the page.
All right, don't forget to join our game nights, Monday night, 10 p.m. EST on the Xbox One. Tuesday, it might be still a thing with Destiny 2, but all signs point to no. Wednesday, Thursday, come find us playing something. Wouldn't mind getting a group together, play some PUBG. Kind of see what that's all about.
If you buy an Xbox One X right now, it comes with it.
Yep. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, neat. And then pretty much Friday night to Sunday, we're hoarding it up again. So
pick up Gears 4. It's still good.
Come flop your wicked tuna out there and have a good time.
Yeah. Watch the new Game Club game announced is Ziggurat. It's a super fast Quake-like shooter in a
This is a Knobs
dungeon.
Game Club game.
Yeah. I hope it's I really liked it. It's made by friends of the show Milkstone Studios. And twitch.tv/E1M1 Network, that video game podcast on YouTube, patreon.com/E1M1. I'm going to have a marathon editing session tonight. I have to edit 6 episodes. So if you are at the $5 or above tier, keep an eye on Patreon for your link. I will be hanging around for a while. And this is it for us this year. Top 10s next week. Predictions is the week after that. We're going to take a much-deserved 2-week vacation. And we'll see you all in 2018.
Laters.
See ya.
All right. Titles. I have 8.
I've got like 4.
Okay.
The suffix for nasty stuff.
I
couldn't help it. It's so good.
It's so good.
I tried to come back. Of course I fed the pig and Schrodinger's DOA.
Schrodinger's DOA is pretty good. Schrodinger's DOA. I have so many juvies. So I like how Knob said, just like so many juvies. Mr. Roboto over here.
What was that said to?
I said that when talking about the squad we had. I was like, there's 2 scouts, there's 2 soldiers, and Mr. Roboto over here referring to you being the engineer.
I liked it.
I build a lot of stuff.
Yeah. The suffix for nasty stuff, which I really like, what follows hardcore. They got tighter vectors, which I like Knobs' delivery on. Master Strut, which I really like. Beefy Morph, Uno Roulette, and Schrodinger's DOA.
I kind of like Uno Roulette.
As much as I do like Uno Roulette, but that can't be it. I don't think.
No. I sort of like the delivery on they got tighter vectors. I like the word vectors.
Oh, it's so frustrating. It's like you move like a pile of anus, and they're banking so quick on you.
They're like doing 360s around you, blasting you to pieces.
Yes,
Yeah, like,
they 100% do.
Yeah.
I could
go for.
There's 3 behind me. Okay, whatever. God,
I could go for they got tighter vectors. The suffix for nasty stuff is another good one, but I almost want that to live in the episode in context.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll pick they got tighter vectors. Just vectors is a fun word to say. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 530 for December 18th, 2017. They got tighter vectors.
Turn!
They're more advanced.
That's why the aliens won. Alright, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Super appreciate it throughout this entire year. 2017 was great for the show. 2018 is going to be great for the show. And we'll see you all next year. Bye.